whether or not it happens. If it does, that'll be great. It'll be a great thing for North Korea. And if it doesn't, that's okay too. Whatever it is, it is.
US President Donald Trump is raising doubts about whether next month's summit with the DPRK will happen. Hello, I'm Anand Naidu, and this is The Heat. The proposed summit between Donald Trump and Kim Jong Un is scheduled to take place on June 12th in Singapore. But during a meeting with South Korean President Moon Jae-in, Trump said there's a chance the summit could be postponed. President Moon met with Kim Jong Un at the demilitarized zone in April and came to Washington to share his insights. We begin our coverage with CGTN's Nathan King from our newsroom. And Nathan, President Trump seems to be hedging his bets about this June summit. What's prompted the change?
Yeah, you're absolutely right, and about 5 times he sort of hedged his bets. We'll see, it may happen, it may not happen. Basically because DPRK has changed some of its language recently, not saying that it doesn't necessarily want to give away its nuclear weapons in light of what the new National Security Advisor here in the US, John Bolton, has said. He compared what he wanted from the DPRK in the upcoming talks to be essentially the Libyan model in 2003. You remember the leadership of Muammar Gaddafi gave away its plans for nuclear and biological weapons to the US, but then that leader, Muammar Gaddafi, ended up getting overturned in 2011 after a Western-backed intervention helping the country's rebels. That is not, obviously, what Kim Jong Un wants to end up like. Now, US President Trump has said, no, the Libya example does not matter, but the DPRK has been very wary of it, and South Korea as well, also very wary of what Bolton has said. So here we have the US president now offering basically security guarantees, saying we'll keep you safe if you make a deal to Kim Jong Un, and also offering economic incentives. Let's take a listen.
I also have very strong opinions that North Korea has a chance to be a great country. And it can't be a great country under the circumstances that they're living right now. But North Korea has a chance really to be a great country, and I think they should seize the opportunity, and we'll soon find out whether or not they want to do that.
So make DPRK great again. The problem, though, for the DPRK and for Seoul is that the type of negotiation wanted by Washington is essentially that the DPRK give up all its nuclear weapons and verify it will not do so again ahead of any economic incentives or lifting of the maximum pressure campaign, whereas Seoul and Pyongyang want a step-by-step approach which sort of encourages trust on both sides as they continue through this nightmare of a process, which of course has really not worked in the past.
Nathan, the DPRK has already taken some steps in the run-up to this planned summit. It said that it will stop all missile testing. It said that it will close down one of its nuclear sites. In fact, a group of journalists has arrived in the DPRK to witness the dismantling of that country's nuclear site. How significant is this?
Yeah, you mean the basically the shutdown of the Pyongyang site underneath that famous mountain, Mount Montap. Yeah, in fact, our correspondent from Beijing, Hong Peng, is actually with that group of journalists. So do continue to watch on CGTN because he's going to bring us loads of reports. But essentially, this is the only testing site that the DPRK has. They've conducted all their nuclear tests there, and there are several theories about why it's doing this, one of which from the US is that because the testing has been so violent that the mountain may actually be about to collapse and it's useless anyway, but also that it could be basically a confidence-building measure along with others, as you said, that the DPRK is offering as a goodwill gesture ahead of time. There are some questions because South Korean journalists are now not on the trip, and also, of course, no nuclear experts as well. It's definitely a news event, but not necessarily a verifiable non-proliferation one.